Hey, I'm going to show you how to create a landing page using Claude Code. Professional, completely incredible, just with a simple command. What you're going to say is, hey, create a landing page for me, and you send. And by the way, if this looks weird to you, this is Claude Code, but I have my special harness called Orchestrator. More information below. And you don't need it, but you can use it if you want. I'm going to use Opus 4.8 because Fable is just burning all my tokens, and I'm going to just send the command, and we wait for the response. Okay, there we have it, and this is the first important thing about Claude. You can see that it's asking the question, hey, a landing page, and we still have some sarcasm in there. Love it. So that's as specific as cook me food. So I love how it grows a personality based on you. So this is how my Claude responds to me, and it's basically the stupid sarcastic humor. Now, here's the important part, and it's where the build me a landing page start to work perfectly, which is it asks me questions, which is my agency, my other product, a client, a lead magnet. So basically it knows me, and I'm going to show you how you can do the same. It's very simple, and you can do it every single day. That is how to do it. So now I'm going to say my agency. Okay, let's do for my agency, and let's do the primary CTA as book a call. And then build method fresh standalone page. Now, here's the interesting part. What should I do now? I can just submit the answers and wait for a response. And what's going to happen is I'm going to give you a landing page based on my data. But this is not the important part. The important part is how can you do the same? How can you get Claude to be able to do this kind of stuff and bring you a landing page out of a simple, hey, build me a landing page question. Okay, so while this Claude is doing its job and trying to look for the landing page information inside the folder, let's create a new one, and I'm going to ask the simple question, which is, what skills do you have access to? And this is where it all begins. So the usage of skills is how you start to get your Claude to do better work. Simple work, but it's still better work. But what are skills? Skills are basically SOPs. Think about what you used to do on following the specific process. One thing that I always recommend is as soon as you do something, like creating a landing page, what you're going to do is you're going to ask Claude to create a skill based on what you just did. For example, if I ask Claude, let me see one of the skills that I have. This one. Oh, what is it? Content Factory, front-end design. Oh, I forgot this skill. It's clone website. It should be here somewhere. Clone. Yeah, the first skill. God, so clone website. What is that? This is a gigantic skill that is actually a combination of multiple different skills that I have that is able to clone a website. This one is very hard to do. It was very hard to create, but this is how you start building your own processes on Claude. I personally don't like Agentic workflows because they are liable to making mistakes. Different than automations that have predictable results, this is just weird, and you still need to finish and adjust at the end of the day when you do your landing page. But let's go back to the landing page. Okay, so it found some stuff, and what is it? It's building the landing page now, and it's also going to send straight to Cloudflare page. What does it mean? It's going to be online immediately. So this brings us to another element of our topic, which is how to build a landing page. We also need to connect to Cloudflare. How do you do it? You ask the question, hey, how can I connect to Cloud? Oh, I clicked the wrong button. So I can ask, no, what did I do? Oh, okay, it's still working. So it's I can ask, hey, how can I connect to Cloudflare? Why? Because when you are able to connect to Cloudflare, you can ask Claude to just send your page to Cloudflare instantly. Right now, one thing that happened is it is going to send my page to Cloudflare without me asking why. Because I said, hey Claude, do you have a memory about sending landing page to Cloudflare? And what is memory? Anytime you're working with Claude, and this is basically going back to how to build a landing page with Claude Code, it's all about you creating a memory and understanding how to precisely adjust without going too technical and working like a developer and going over there and doing some weird stuff. Just ask, just say, hey, you know that stuff that you just did, don't do it anymore. Or do you know that stuff, all that beautiful, amazing stuff they just did? I want you to do it again. So please remember this in your memory, in the memory of the project, in your high-level memory for all the Claude projects. It always depends. So we can see in here that I have multiple different files, and you also have multiple different files. And one of them is going to say, what is it? Yeah, it doesn't seem like I have a memory, but for somehow it might have saved somewhere else, and it has access to the results. So I might have a different memory that is generating that somehow and allowing Claude to create it for me. So if we go back to the landing page, let's see how it's behaving right now. It seems like we have the landing page, and if I open the landing page, it is a nice landing page that looks exactly like the Claude website, as well as all the landing pages from Claude. So what we do, we need to give it a reference. We need to give Claude something to do. For example, if I come over here and I say, hey, can you use Playwright to go on a website and find for me this website, the visual identity, and copy as precisely as you can the same identity for me, and then I can find a website. What website? I don't know. Let's say, I don't know, beautiful website, and I'm gonna find a website. And you can ask, Rodrigo, what is Playwright? I don't know. I'm gonna get this one. How do I open a website? I don't even know how to open a website. Yes, infinite scroll. How can I open the website, please? Okay, so I'm gonna get this website. I'm gonna send it over there to Claude, and I'm gonna say copy this website. And you notice that I said, hey, use Playwright. What's Playwright? It is an extension that allows Claude to take control of the browser and do the browsing. So when I say, hey, go over there, I'm gonna send a message, and it's probably gonna take over the T's tab, so we're gonna remove it. And it's now going to access the website, and it's going to start using the website. One thing that I believe it did while it was creating the website was to use the skill front-end design, which is also one thing that you can find and download. Yeah, this is the skill that it's using. It's front-end design. You can ask your Claude, and you can copy and paste and say, hey, Claude, download for me this skill, which is going to help with front-end design. That's why all the websites created by Claude look very similar. So I also have another skill that is on my other laptop. Skills are files. So it's on my other laptop, and I didn't brought to this one yet. So when we ask for the skill, we are accessing a file, and every single thing that we have on Claude when we're talking to Claude is about the context. So if I send a message as context, what is going to happen is it's going to show me what is loaded on its memory. So we have the skills that will load on the memory based on what we are using. We have other different stuff like the memory files. To me, is the most important ones. Those two are the most important ones that give us the capacity to have customized results sending the same message. So it allows you not having a gigantic second brain library like people do, which is amazing actually. I'm pretty excited to do something like this, but I'm a marketer. I'm a Agentic marketer, so I'm doing stuff to get stuff done. So very quickly, I just ask Claude sometimes to save something, to remove something, to not do something again, to do it over again, and to download some resources that it's now able to use time and time and time again. So basically, it's taking a look at all of those stuff at the same time, which is why we also need to be careful and review the token usage and the cloud.md from time to time. And how do we do it? We literally just create a new chat, and we go over there and say, hey, can you review my .md files, which I'm not going to .md files, review my .md files, which I'm not going to do because it's not going to review now, but you're just going to say, hey, how can we improve? What is the pros and cons of removing that stuff? And then what happens is, going back, we have Claude that is right in here on the other tab right there. Is this the one? No, this is the one. So it is, oh, there's something got away there. Nice. Okay, so right here on the landing page, it is reading the website, and it's now not going to understand the website and finally be able to reproduce. Now, one thing that is important is every single time that you ask Claude to do something, again, if it's repeatable, you need to create a skill. Why? If I go back to my website, let me open incognito just so you can see the design. This design that you can see here, I have a specific skill that I created after I found the way that is best for the website to be built. And every time I ask Claude to check my website, it uses its skill. Because I have the memory of the project, I said, hey Claude, save in your memory that every time for this project, you are going to be using the premium UI skill, which is the one that I created for Claude to use when building my website. So now Claude is going to the website. I'm going to stop this for a while. And then when we come back, it should have something nice. Now, you probably understood now that this video is not about creating a landing page with Claude Code. But it is. The beauty about Claude Code is not about how to do stuff quickly, because the landing page I'm going to create is honestly going to be a complete piece of garbage that won't be worth it anything. Why? Because it's not connected to any process. Agentic workflows are amazing because they can get you to 0 to 80 very quickly, but if you don't have the process, if you don't have the capacity, if you don't have the technique, if you don't have the ability, you are going to take the 20%, you're going to take 2 months to finish the 20%. So what do? Take your specialty. For example, I was talking to a client earlier today as prospect, and I said to him, hey, I'm going to build a 50-page marketing strategy for you. And he said, but are you going to read that? And I said, yes, I'm going to read that. Because I used to do it manually. So it's amazing if you know what you're doing, but you also need to connect to a workflow that it makes sense to you and you can truly understand. To give an example is, building a landing page is nice, but what you're going to do with a landing page? You need lead forms, you need tracking, you need database to save the leads, you need to send webhooks, and you do all that stuff and you don't do it properly, don't have the architecture. Sorry, but you are going to destroy the website even before it goes online. So what is the case is Reusable. Reusable is an amazing product, and I use it so many times for 2 months, but I spent like $1,500 in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. Okay, God's sake. 4 months I spent $1,500 on Reusable, which was from January up to, I think it was September. From September up to January. Yeah, September up to January. And what happened is, having a landing page doesn't mean anything. Having an agentic workflow doesn't mean anything. You need to have the agentic to get you the 80% and as much as you can. So this is what this video is about. Not about landing page. It's about how to make sure that you're using AI, agentic AI, not simple AI, chatbots or whatever, in a way that is, you can standardize the 20%. What do I mean by that? Is you create a website, you're going to create a website, it's going to look nice, I hope so, but at the end of the day, you should be able to have something that is repeatable. How are you going to sell this stuff? Oh, it's a website, and every single time I build it, it's a different website. It doesn't matter. What you need to do is to make sure that you are creating a website that delivers the same result. For example, how do you make sure that the book a call stuff is going to work? Oh, it sent me to my link. It even knows my link. But this is not about me. It's about clients. It's how can we do this thing to work for clients? How can we have a lead form in here? And the thing I'm not going to show, so we have, okay, nice. Is it here? Let me check. Wow, okay, beautiful. Okay. Yes, do it. Now, okay, it seems to be ready, so let's open up the page. And you can see the cost on top in here. It says it's $5. This is not true because I have a subscription, as you can see in here, and this is what the cost would be if I was using the API. The APIs is usually between 5 and 10 times more expensive than the subscription plans. And I'm using a very cheap model, so I changed. It used to be cheap, God's sake. This used to be the most expensive model, but today, 2 days after Fable 5 was released, this is very cheap now. So expensive is now the new norm. So it created a page, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to open the page, and let's see how it looks like. Yep, it looks a very expensive website. I don't like it at all. but some people like it. And this is how you build websites, and this is how you create a brand identity based on somebody else. If you want to create from scratch, good luck. So, oh, it took this page. I thought I gave another one. Yeah. I thought it was going to create some designs and stuff like this, but instead it created this part, which is the only part that has text, so it makes sense. But it changed the website from this, which is the standard visual identity that Claude creates, to that. Oh, sorry, not that one. This one. Not this one. What is the website I created? There. So this one. So it created this website, which is honestly, again, look how interesting it is. It is different. It's not normal because I found an inspiration to rely upon. So what do I do now? I can ask Claude and say, hey Claude, can you please create a skill for any time that I want to use this visual identity? I can request this skill, give it a nice little fun name. And that's it. You ask Claude to create a skill. It's a file. So this is basically the process of you going through the creation of something and then not needing to do it again. So I don't want to have the same effort that I did to go over there and use Playwright, which again is amazing, but I don't want it to go and do it all the time. Sometimes we need to. For example, I have a process that I need to copy and clone specifically landing pages from my own clients to another domain using a different technology, so I need to use Playwright. And I have a skill, it's gigantic skill that takes 2 hours to run, and it goes and goes, it checks every single part of the page multiple times, up to 8 times, to have pixel perfect precision on the page. But if I just want to use the same style, I just can ask to create a skill, and I can invoke the skill. How? Just ask, hey, do you have a skill? I forgot. Do you have a skill to have a design that is kind of black and white, something like this? And Claude is going to go over there and is going to find it. That's it. And it even says, hey, you can drop a command. I'm not using commands. I'm a marketer. I'm a Agentic marketer. So I'm using my voice to talk to Claude and do what I need to do, when I need it to get done. So this is how you build a landing page and how you build a skill based on the landing page building skill. The next step is, okay, so I'm not going to do this one. So this is the end of the video now. So thank you for joining. But basically, I want to do a form and I want to save the lead somewhere. You can ask Claude, hey Claude, can you build a lead form? And Claude is going to do, yes, I'm going to do. And you build the lead, and when you approve the work, after you approve the work, there is no, for example, one thing that is important is, if you have a marketing agency, a company, whatever you have, if you have a lemon stand, SOPs only come after implementation. There is no SOP before implementation. Implement first, SOP later. Unless you've already done the stuff that you want to do exactly the same way. One thing that is stupid, and I watched this guy, the guy was building SOPs for a team to do something they never did before, and he never done it as well. So why the fuck are you building an SOP, my friend? Go and do this stuff, and then you build the SOP after the stuff. It's after the fact. The same as for skills. You do this stuff, you understand that it's nice, you like this stuff, and you say, hey, I'm going to build an SOP. Oh, by the way, SOP is Standard Operation Procedure for those who don't know. It's basically a checklist. It's a simplification of SOP, is a checklist. You build an SOP, you build a skill, and then after you validate the form, you like the form, you agree with the form, and then you go to Claude and say, hey Claude, update my skill of building landing page, which is the one that it's building right now. I'm not sure what is the name. It's checking my skills anyway, but it's going to create a skill. And when I create something else, I can go and say, hey, Claude, can you go back to that skill and can you update this skill with the lead form you just built? Nice, right? And then you do it again. Then you come back and say, hey, Claude, can you build a website based on this skill? And if it makes a mistake, you correct it. If it does not, you just say, hey, thanks. That's amazing. So this is how to build a landing page using Claude Code, but much more deeper than it. I spoke about so many different things, and I hope you got a little bit confused, because it's within the confusion that learning happens. I wish you have an amazing day, the best of your life, and you be careful with your tokens. They are rare, and they are going away every single day, every single minute. Join my community below, and it's going to be very fun to have you over there. Thanks. Cheers.